Stop me if you've heard this one. An actor walks into a bar, and then he realizes he didn't make a very good entrance, so he walks out of the bar, he waits for a moment, and then he walks back into the bar. And then he realizes that no one was looking at him when he walked in, so he walked back out of the bar, waited a moment, and then walked back into the bar. Now, this whole time, this actor walking in and out of the bar, everyone left. And eventually no one was there to see him make an entrance anyway. Effectively, what happened was the actor got into his own way and prevented him from enjoying a good time. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. Getting in your own way. You've heard it. Every artist I know has been told, you're getting in your own way. Get out of your own way. What does it mean? I mean, we are a single entity. We can't literally get in our own way. Or can we? I'm going to give you some examples and some possible solutions for those examples. I'm going to give you a first example I'm going to give you is a very obvious physical example because it happened to me today. So I went out for a run. It was awful. It was 90 degrees and extra humidity. And it was just terrible. But anyway, that's not the point. So I'm running and I'm running and I'm running. And as I run, my brain tends to focus on weird things. Sometimes it focuses on my body, what my body's doing. And I started thinking, my foot placement on my right foot is wrong when I land. Better change that. So as soon as I tried to make a change, my knee went, not so fast. I'm here and I'm 55 years old and you need to be careful. And I reminded myself, just let the body do what it does and everything will be fine. The body knows what it has to do. And as soon as I got out of my own way, everything kind of fell back into place and the run was fine. You see what I mean? Another way of thinking about getting in your own way is getting out of your head. That's right. You're an artist. You know what that means? You're an overthinker. That's okay. That's okay. I'm an overthinker too. It's just kind of part and parcel to who we are. So let me give you some other examples. Here's one that is hitting really close to home for me right now. So as I have told you in previous videos, I am preparing for a musical. Now, I have for the longest time called myself an actor who can sing. But this particular musical that I'm working on really does need legit singing. So I have had to really bear down and focus on my voice. And I have seen the exact same pattern happening as I saw today when I was running. So I'm practicing on this music, all of the things that my voice teacher, my wonderful voice teacher has told me. And what happens is when I'm practicing, I start thinking about it. And I start thinking too much about it. And then all of a sudden, my brain goes, no, let's try something else. And then I have to stop myself and go, that's not what the voice teacher is telling me right now. So what happens is I overthink the process of singing instead of, say it with me, letting my body do what it naturally does. It's a problem, and it is a problem that haunts every artist. We overthink everything. And very often, because of these artistic endeavors that depend so much on our instincts and our emotions and our hearts and our souls, our brains just go, I don't think so. Now, here is the example that I think a lot of people are waiting on, because I know a lot of actors out there who have this problem. And trust me, I know it. I know it well. But I also know the solution that will help every actor out there from getting in their own way, getting in their heads. And this is something that I have taught and taught and taught and taught. Here's the thing. When you are rehearsing a show or performing a show, it doesn't really matter. If you, now bear with me here, if you are in the middle of a scene and you are thinking about your next line, or if you are thinking about something from your past to maybe help you dredge up the emotions you need for the scene, or if maybe you're just thinking about a shopping list, or thinking about what you're going to do after the show tonight, or after rehearsal, or you're thinking about, I don't know, any number of things, you are not present. You're just not present. You're not there in the scene. Now, here is the key for good acting. You've got to be present. You've got to do one thing well, and that is listen to the person you're acting with. Your attention should be laser focused on that person you're acting with. And whatever they give you, if you respond to that honestly, then you're doing your job. That is the crux, the kernel of good acting, is listening and responding honestly. That's it. Yeah, there are other minutiae involved, like memorizing lines and blocking, but you have got to be present. And the best way to get out of your own way as an actor is to just listen to the person or persons you were acting with. Stop thinking. Because thinking, when you're acting, leads to overthinking. Do all that thinking outside of rehearsal. Yeah? Outside of rehearsal, you can determine what your character wants, what's in the way of your character getting what the character wants, and all the other homework that we all have to do as actors to create a multidimensional, rich character. But once you're in rehearsal, and once you're in performances, forget all that. You've already done the homework. You've already done the work. All you have to do is listen. That's it. Just listen. Here's another example. And I have a really good example because it happened to me last night. So last night I was writing. I'm writing the second book in the Violent Delights series, which I'm enjoying immensely. And I got to a very key moment in the story, in the second book in the series. And I stopped. And I thought, what needs to happen now? Because I had to avoid a pattern. Because I don't like patterns in books, unless it's actually a thing that you're creating intentionally. Because I think that patterns become too predictable, and you don't want readers to be able to know what's going to happen before it happens, unless, of course, it's intentional. So I thought, my first thought was, okay, I'll take it in this direction. And then I started writing. I was like, no, that's not right. That seems kind of fake. It's almost like I'm intentionally forcing the plot to go this direction. So I erased what I wrote and I said, okay, well, maybe this is it. This is it. Started writing, like, no. Again, that feels false. It feels like I'm not being true to the characters in the story. And then I stopped again. I was like, I'm not sure where to go. I'm lost. For a second, I was lost. That doesn't ever happen to me when I'm writing. So I did what I always do when there's a problem. I just sat. I just sat and stared at the words. I sat and I stared at the words and I waited. Because I knew that my instincts, that the universe, as it were, would tell me which way to go. And it took about 5 minutes of just staring at those words, staring at the page. And finally, it came out. And I was able to write exactly where that story needed to go. I wasn't sitting there looking at the page thinking, what do I need to do? What does this story need to, where does this story need to go? I just sat and stared at the words, trusting my instincts would guide me. Trust. And that is key to getting out of your way, is trusting your instincts. Now, I have a bit of an advantage because when I was in grad school, that's kind of what was beaten over my head over and over and over and over again, to trust your instincts. And every artist has amazing instincts. You know you do. So you have to stop second guessing those instincts and trust that they will take you where you need to go, whether you're working on a monologue or a scene or directing something or a song or a book, anything, whatever you're working on. Trust your instincts and let them guide you. And this really does apply to anything. And honestly, it applies to things outside of the world of art. If you're working on a big project, or I don't speak a fluent business, so I'm not really comfortable talking about those things, but you understand what I'm saying. Instinct is absolutely critical. So trust it and just let it dictate where you need to go next, instead of you telling yourself where you need to go next, what needs to happen in a scene. And the thing about scenes is that it's not just you, it's you and someone else, or multiple someones. And if you all, in that scene, if you all just trust your instincts and just let things happen naturally, it'll be beautiful. Now, another thing I should add, while I was out for my run, is that I also know that the way the universe took that book last night, I knew that I was going to have to, something else was going to have to happen, something very important was going to have to happen. So when I was out for my run today, I wasn't thinking about it. In fact, I was just listening to the music in my head. And then out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, the universe tapped me on the shoulder and said, this is where that needs to go. And I was like, oh my God, that is right. That is perfect. You just have to let it happen. And the problem is if you get in your way, if you overthink everything, it's not going to just happen. You're going to force it. And when art is forced, it's not a good thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's really simple. Truthfully, it really is simple. The solution to getting out of your way is just trusting your instincts. Isn't that fun? And that's all I have to say on this topic. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you for just being a part of my world. You're wonderful, and the world wouldn't be the same without you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.